When it comes to cruising, I think that creates like a Mediterranean sampler platter. You're getting to see multiple cities, multiple iconic locations in the same region in just one trip.
Julie, you got some fun stuff for us today.
Yeah, this should go right along with all that freezing cold weather. We're going to be talking about the Mediterranean today, so we can be talking about the next trip you can plan when you want to get out of the freezing cold weather. Let's go ahead and get started, because if you've never been to the Mediterranean before, is that it would be very difficult to do like a all-encompassing Mediterranean trip in just one trip. It's really not one trip. Many different regions, many countries, cultures, different paces. And what I mean by that is some areas are going to be very high paced. There's a lot to see, there's a lot to do, and you're going to be going all day. And other places are going to be more relaxed and laid back and more casual. So don't think that you need to do it all. Choose very intentionally so that you can enjoy your trip, and realize that with the JGOOT way of travel, nothing is a once in a lifetime trip. Other tips that I want to give you here is to start with regions, not necessarily specifically just one country. You want to work backwards from your flights, or if you're an advanced traveler and you feel really comfortable with the JGOOT way of travel, then I could also say that you might be able to work back from your cruise. And then choose 1 to 2 different anchor experiences. Build the rest into the plan like a little bit more organically. I like to plan just one main activity a day. I do this whether I'm doing domestic travel or international travel, and then I leave the rest of the day for more spontaneous exploration. So we will be going over these key stops. I started in Rome, and then I went to the Florence, Pisa area. I went to Nice, Marseille, Barcelona, Palma, Mallorca, and then Ibiza, Granada, Cadiz, Gibraltar, and ended in Lisbon. So I did say, like I mentioned, I cruised, and all the pictures that you're seeing here, I will go into when I'm talking about each city individually, but these are my pictures. So this picture of the rock apes and like the rock ape mama holding, or actually that's a dad, holding its baby in Gibraltar, that was my photo, and I was like right next to these rock apes. So really amazing experiences. With cruising, what you're gonna get with the Mediterranean is more efficient sampling. And like I said, it's like a sampler platter. So you're going to get to experience more of the region, more cultures, more cities, more things to do. You only have to unpack one time, because you drop it all off in your cruise cabin, and then you get to go from port to port to port, and there's no need to pack up all of your stuff and move to another hotel. That's the biggest benefit to cruising, is that your hotel room is moving with you from place to place. With a land tour, it's nice because it's a slower, deeper, more immersive trip where you can get really into the city, and you can see more things, and you can get more into the culture of like one specific location. It allows you more flexibility because you can change your plans on the go. You're not tied to the ship's schedule. It's your schedule, and if you decide that you want to stay longer someplace, you could work that out on your trip. My favorite way to travel, and I do this with most of my trips, is I like to do a hybrid of this, where I do cruising. I pick a cruise, and then I do pre and post cruise land stays on points. That way I get time to do a slower and deeper, more immersive experience in my departure city and my arrival city. There's no right way to do the Mediterranean. The right way is just whatever the right way is for you. This presentation is going to gear more towards the Western Caribbean, because I started in Rome, as you'll see here, and then went to Lisbon. That's where we ended at. In May, I'm actually going the opposite direction, and I'll be starting in Venice and ending in Turkey. For Rome, the departure port for cruises, if you're cruising, is Civitavecchia. You don't have to do a cruise, right? Like we're talking about this presentation, you could go and you could just stay in Rome. Something to be aware of, because a lot of times we talk about using our flexible chase points and transferring them to Hyatts, because we get really good hotel redemptions that way. So where we were located, we were right next to the Pantheon. I stayed actually at a Marriott property called the Pantheon Iconic, and that was really well located to be able to walk to all of those different sites. Some of the sites that you can see in Rome, the Colosseum, of course, and then the Vatican itself, that is a whole day's worth of exploration. There's so much to see there, and obviously standing inside the Sistine Chapel. I recommend paying for the skip the line tickets for the Colosseum and for the Vatican, and also booking that early. So the Florence area, La Cinque Terre, is 5 towns that are close together, and they're the ones that you see on postcards with like the colorful little villages that are right next to the waterfront. It's not something that I would want to do cruising because it ends up being like an hour and a half to 2 hours of a train ride to get there. And then they're trying to take you from like town to town and you're cramming on these little trains trying to get off in the town. They give you like 30 minutes. You got to get back on the train, get off at the next town. You get like 15 minutes. You're back on the train again. So you get to like take a picture, say you were there, but you won't get time to experience it. Moving on to Nice. Nice is a beautiful city most people are familiar with, south of France and waterfront, really beautiful destination. This like mountain hillside area that you see, on the other side of that is Nice. We did go to Nice so that we could see this Chagall Museum, one of my favorite artists. But this time over in that little port town, that's actually where the people from Nice go when they're wanting like a little weekend getaway. So Marseille is still a huge town south of France. You can see behind my husband and I in the photo on the right how expansive this city is. There's a lot there. Some other things to notice: big cities are going to require more planning, and I enjoy small cities. So the other thing that I would tell you as a pattern, especially for the Mediterranean, is early mornings matter more than late nights. Food and walkability, I think, also matter for the Mediterranean. Speaking of Barcelona, Barcelona, similar to Rome, is going to be another one of those really big cities where it's going to pay for you to have skip the line tickets. It would be nice to have a tour guide some of these places when you're looking at these structures, which Gaudi is like, he's an architect, and some of these structures are just some of the most bizarre, but also unique and iconic. Pro advice is to book your tickets way in advance, go early so that you can avoid the crowds. So La Sagrada Familia, Gaudi was also the architect. The construction on this began in 1882, so it's pretty cool because it's still ongoing. It's not a finished cathedral, but it's most likely going to be the biggest in the world once it's complete. Palma de Mallorca was one of our rest days. Again, I intentionally build rest into a Mediterranean itinerary because you're doing so much, as you can see in these slides. And so this was just a beach day for us, and it was a very worthwhile beach day. And then the next day in Ibiza, it's also more of a beachy area. And then we were ready and we went right back at it because in Granada, you have Alhambra. And so there's palaces there. Lots of beautiful Moroccan influenced architecture. This pizza place was like one of my favorite. I mean, like I might just go back there just for that. Cadiz was another unexpected surprise. I didn't, but just walking around, like they have like a historic town center again, you know, lots of shops. Something else that's big in the Mediterranean, you'll see a lot of street performers. We went to see the flamenco dancers. And then Gibraltar, this is to me, like people just sleep on this because I feel like nobody talks about Gibraltar as my must-do. This is my bucket list location. And then this World War II tunnels, because this is the Rock of Gibraltar. So like you've heard about it in history, and then you can actually go learn the history and go through the siege tunnels and learn how they were made and the stories that go with that as well. We actually ended in Lisbon, but we flew straight up to Madrid. I will go back to Lisbon someday, and I hadn't ever been to Madrid before either, so I picked Madrid because it has a giant palace, and I'm very attracted to princessy, the royals, and getting to go tour castles and stuff. I love that. These are some images that I took inside the palace. This isn't really in the Mediterranean, but it's where I ended my trip, so it's like a bonus. Cruising is one way to do the Mediterranean, it's one way to explore. This is the Norwegian Viva, and it's part of Norwegian Cruise Line's newest Prima class of ships. And so if you've heard of the Norwegian Prima, the Viva, the Aqua, these are ships that are some of the newest in Norwegian's fleet. So some of the unique features on the ship, one of them was that 3-level go-kart track. That mini golf course, like I said, it's kind of techy, and it goes along with this interactive darts area that's kind of like a Top Golf, but for darts. They also have beautiful infinity beach pools. Personally, I think this is one of the best ways to do the Mediterranean because you get to do more things, and you don't have, I'm pretty ADD, so I like to do lots of stuff, and I think that it's a really great way to go from one city to the next, but you don't have to pack up. You're literally taking your hotel room with you, and it makes it very, very convenient. When it comes to cruising, one, I think that creates like a Mediterranean sampler platter. You're getting to see multiple cities, multiple iconic locations in the same region in just one trip. You unpack one time, you wake up somewhere new every single day, or at least almost every day. It's pretty easygoing pacing because you can go back to the ship whenever you want. You don't have to deal with multiple hotels or train rides or the logistics of moving your stuff around. I think that this really is the ideal way for first timers to see the Mediterranean. So then you have the opportunity to see multiple places and see what it is that you want to go deeper on your return trips. And this is where JGOOT Cruises comes in. So we do have a membership on cruises called the JGOOT Cruises membership. And in the cruises membership, we talk about how to find amazing cash deals, like amazing cash deals to the Mediterranean. We also give you step-by-step strategies on how you can get free or almost free cruises. You'll see a lot of our JGOOT Cruises members talking about that, like Anthony was saying they were mentioning earlier, because they've either already been or they have these Mediterranean cruises booked because of what's in our JGOOT Cruises course.
So I'm going to put a link up on the screen for you here. You can go to jgoot.com/cruises. It'll tell you everything you need to know about the cruise course. It'll break down everything that Julie just walked through as far as the curriculum and Q&As and newsletters and all that kind of stuff.